everyone, I'm Christelyn Nayre, a Bachelor of Culture and Arts Education student, and I'm gonna share to you my comments about the two classifications that I have selected. First, we have Ibong Adarna. It is the popular Filipino fairy tale that tells the story of a kneeling king who sent his 3 sons to search for Ibong Adarna. Ibong Adarna as the only cure to his illness, and as a reward of whoever catches the bird and brings to him will inherit the throne. Each of the princes went out on their own expedition. Major characters: Ibong Adarna, an enchantress bird that has very long fancy tail with numerous shiny metallic colors. It knows a total of 7 songs that are believed to lull anyone to sleep as well as cure any type of afflictions, and it changes its feathers into more colorful hues and shades after each song. After the last song, it excretes waste, then finally sleeps with its eyes wide open. When a Adarna bird is sad, it looks very ugly and hopeless. It is also believed that its droppings can turn any living things into stone. King Fernando, great ruler of Bourbania Kingdom. Queen Valeriana, faithful wife of King Fernando and a loving mother to her 3 sons, Don Pedro, Don Diego, and Don Juan. Don Pedro, eldest son of the king and queen. He is a deceitful man, very envious and greedy of power. Don Diego, the second son. He does not have his own decision. He follows whatever his older brother, Don Pedro, tells him to do. Don Juan, the youngest of the siblings. He is a man of integrity and compassion. These good qualities makes him the king's favorite child. Minor characters: Old Leper, the old man who advises Don Juan to seek for the hermit's cottage and ask for an advice on how to get the Adarna bird without any harm. Hermit, the old man who advises Don Juan on how to successfully get the Adarna bird. Princess Juana, the princess whom Don Juan rescues from a giant who holds her in custody. Princess Leonora, younger sibling of Princess Juana. Don Juan also rescues her from the serpent with 7 heads. King Salermo, ruler of the kingdom of the Lost Crystal with black magical powers. He is the father of Doña Maria Blanca. Princess Maria Blanca, the princess of the Lost Crystal Kingdom. She has white magical powers, which is greater than her father, King Salermo. From Dulaang UP Adarna production, the mythical Adarna bird reimagined as 7 maidens with golden voices and colorful plumage. This was fantasy at its purest end, along with the beauty of a script spoken like poetry with background music to match. One could just, in a sense, sit back and enjoy the show. This Adarna was meant to be spectacular, smartly written, and with humor in all the right places, if slightly overlong. However, the fleeting appearances of Adarna was rarely seen and, truth to tell, was hardly missed. In this 2.5-hour theatrical narrative, Don Juan would bring down a one-eyed giant, defeat a slithering snake, swim to the depths of the murky sea, and venture deep down into the center of the earth. His quest of 7 years along the way made him mature, secure a bride, several candidates for the position, and in a sense becomes more ready, emotionally and intellectually, to assume the throne. The innovations was stunning that the technique applied by the production designer gives the viewers worth to watch performance, and it was fully appreciated. Specifically on how the actors handled the scenes where a couple of actors performing as doubles just to portray look-alikes wearing the same costume. Transition was very good. Traveling and lighting effect with suit lively music helps, and the emotions of the characters draws the audience attention perfectly portrayed their roles. The play is very appealing and it reached out to young audience because of its current idioms, catchphrases that it uses, and it interspersed with Tagalog script, which makes it more interesting and livelier. The second one is Commedia dell'arte. It is a theatrical form characterized by improvised dialogue and a cast of colorful stock characters. It emphasized ensemble acting. Its improvisations were set in a firm framework of masks and stock situations, and its plots were frequently borrowed from the classical literary tradition of commedia erudita or literary drama. To the audience, the actors' physical movements and embodiment of the stock characters help to establish their character, and the mask enhance it. Here is some background on the Commedia dell'arte characters that many of the Venetian masks designs are based on. Zanni. The Zanni character was a buffoon or clown and known in those days as a spleton or stupid, incompetent fool. This character was drawn from the lower classes of the time, the peasant or migrant worker who worked in Venetian society as a servant, valet, or porter, sometimes also as an odd job person or hooker. The doctor is usually dressed in the traditional style of a medieval doctor, with a huge black suit, often with a ruff, and a notorious beret or large doctor's cap. He wears a mask over half of his face that highlights his bulbous nose. A comic personage originally from well-fed and learned Bologna. He is a doctor only in name, and is depicted at times as a learned physician, and at other times as a notary or lawyer. The Arlecchino mask is one of the most popular masks in the Commedia dell'arte series. It was traditionally worn by the character of Arlecchino, Harlequin in English, who was cast as a bit of a dim-witted, silly, simple-minded person and perpetually hungry, again in the Zanni genre. Its usual role is that of a faithful valet or servant, but in this context he is also known as a clown, the acrobat providing lots of comic relief. As soon as this character appears on stage, there is always lots of laughter at these absurd actions and words, alternating between flashes of brilliance and plain idiocy. You can't predict which will manifest itself at any time. This is overlaid with wit and charm. as well as scheming to meet his own objectives. He is usually comprised a jacket and trousers with colorful and irregular patches, with a white felt hat with a rabbit or fox tail, and a belt with a wooden spatula. This was used to steer polenta or sometimes to slap another person, a parcel, baggage, food, or other items belonging to someone else. His mask has a puggish nose, sometimes a bump on his forehead, and usually with devilish and feline features. He is truly a colorful character. Pulcinella. Its physical appearance in the theater often resembled that of a cockerel. His mask with a beaked nose is thought to have given rise to his name, either from the Latin Pullus gallinaceus or from a dialect corruption of pulcino, young chick. Colombena is usually cast as a mischievous maid in the Commedia dell'arte, a comic but not always virtuous figure with a best friend and sometimes lover of Arlecchino. Her costume is usually simple, presenting what maid wore in the 70s. She sometimes wore colorful patches, set off by a small white cuff and an apron of the same color. The captain is usually vainglorious, deceitful, and braggart soldier, dressed in a bright and colorful uniform. This was usually a suit with multicolored stripes and gilt buttons, a featured cap, and a large sword with several rust marks or even some cobwebs. His sport usually involves him boasting of great exploits of war, but he is also the subject of pranks and jokes from the other characters. He sometimes responds to this by unsheathing his sword, but the only blood that is ever spilled is his own. And Brihella, the screwed servant in Zanni's genre, one of his specialties for this role is tricks and pranks that he plays on the other characters, and is sometimes also expert musician singing and playing the guitar. The meddlesome, greedy, and astute servant is also a ruffian, ready to satisfy even the meanest desires of his master. He is also totally unscrupulous and ready for any crime. His costume is that of a servant, but usually with several short green stripes on a white background on both shirt and trousers. He sometimes also wears a cloak and a cap with green stripes. Thank you for watching this video, and hopefully you have learned something today.